Hey, friends! Sherlock Holmes. Who doesn't love Holmes and stories featuring the detective? But there are only so many in Arthur Conan Doyle's canon, so people have been making their own Holmes stories for decades. Most, well, they aren't as good, but now and then a gem comes along. This time we're looking at one of those gems, an original take on Sherlock Holmes, namely Without a Clue from 1988, starring Michael Caine and Ben Kingsley. Our story goes like this. Sherlock Holmes has just solved his latest case and everyone is happy, except for Dr. Watson, because Holmes isn't really Holmes. Turns out he's just a washed-up actor named Reginald Kincaid, and it's Dr. Watson who's the real brains behind the detective. See, Watson created the character for his literary work, but got the detective bug and started working on cases himself. Sherlock Holmes became so popular he had to invent a real-life version of Holmes, and to that end, wound up hiring an actor to play the part for the public. Unfortunately, Kincaid is a big ham, an egotist, a boozer, a womanizer, and a coward. Basically, the complete opposite of what Sherlock Holmes is supposed to be. And that makes him frustrating for Watson to work with, because they have to keep the secret and Kincaid kinda has Watson over a barrel. When the pair have a falling out, Watson tries rebranding himself as the Crime Doctor, but no one takes him seriously as a detective. Meanwhile, Professor Moriarty has stolen some printing plates from the Royal Mint to counterfeit money, and Watson has to try and figure out the titular villain's plans and stop him. Can Moriarty be stopped? Will Kincaid help or hinder? And will Watson get his fair share of the credit at long last? It's often been a point of debate amongst Holmes fans whether or not Dr. Watson was a reliable narrator. In the stories, even Holmes himself questions the choices made by Watson, and only 2 of the official canon were not written by the good doctor. One was written by Holmes, and the last one was written in a third-person style. This picture turns everything we know on its head. And yet, despite being a send-up of Holmes and Watson, the movie has a complete and utter respect for Doyle's creations. That's because screenwriters Gary Murphy and Larry Strother were big fans of Holmes and wanted to do their favorite character justice, which is the right way to approach a popular franchise. In our cast, we have the legendary Michael Caine as Kincaid and Ben Kingsley as Watson. Both said they had a lot of fun working on this picture, and it shows. Pat Keane plays Mrs. Hudson, who's in on the fake Holmes deception. She also played Mrs. Hudson in a TV series about the Baker Street Irregulars in 1983. Comedian Peter Cook plays the editor of the Strand magazine, based on the real editor who worked with Arthur Conan Doyle. Jeffrey Jones plays Lestrade. Lizette Anthony and Nigel Davenport also appear. Sets and locations are spot on for the era the movie is set in, which lends an air of authenticity rarely seen today. This movie is a lot of fun, especially if you love Sherlock Holmes. I'm giving Without a Clue 3.5 paws. This is a wonderful comedy and a love letter to Sherlock Holmes, made by people who really were aficionados of the great consulting detective. You can see my review of They Might Be Giants here, and down there you can see more reviews of Sherlock Holmes movies. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.